We're going to talk about sigma and pi bonds and how to assign these bonds on covalent molecules. Sigma and pi bonds are used to describe covalent bonds, and a covalent bond is a bond between two nonmetals. We also want to remember that the valence electrons are what's involved in the bond. Sigma bond is a type of a strong covalent bond, and all single bonds are sigma bonds. And sigma bonds are formed by the overlap of atomic orbitals. So they're formed by the SS overlap, the SP overlap, and the PP overlap. Pi bonds are also a type of a covalent bond, but they're weaker than sigma bonds, and they must exist along with a sigma bond, meaning it can never be just a pi bond by itself. And pi bonds are formed by the side-to-side overlap of atomic orbitals. Let's see if we can use the valence bond theory to explain the bonding in N2. The first thing you want to do is determine the electron configuration for each atom in this molecule or in this bond. So nitrogen has 7 electrons, 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. And then you want to draw the orbital diagram. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to remember to place those last electrons in its each orbital before you start to pair down. And another atom of nitrogen is involved in this bond. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, and we want to draw the orbital diagram for that. Remember that a bond is made from 2 electrons. So these 2 electrons can come together to make a bond. These 2 electrons can come together to make a bond. And these 2 electrons can come together to make a bond. So this suggests that there are 3 bonds between the 2 nitrogen atoms. So we can draw the Lewis structure that shows 3 bonds, and we should also show the lone pairs. Remember, the lone pairs are these 2 pairs of electrons. Now let's go ahead and describe the sigma and the pi. Now, all single bonds are sigma, so this is 1 sigma, and the rest are going to be pi. So N2 has 1 sigma bond and 2 pi bonds. Let's describe the bonds in HCl, O2, and HCN. The first thing you want to do is draw the Lewis structure. The Lewis structure for HCl looks like this. And this molecule has only 1 bond. So 1 single bond is called a sigma bond. So HCl has only 1 sigma bond and no pi bonds. Let's take a look at O2. This is the Lewis structure for O2. There is a double bond between the atoms. So single bonds are sigma, and the rest have to be pi. So O2 has 1 sigma bond and 1 pi bond. What about HCN? The Lewis structure for HCN looks like this. And we want to describe all the bonds in this molecule. So let's take a look at the first bond between H and C. That is a single bond, so that's sigma. And between C and N, there's a triple bond. So 1 is sigma, the rest have to be pi. So HCN has 2 sigma bonds and 2 pi bonds. Good luck and keep practicing.